Godfather of Anxiety here. I just wanted to make a short video about the importance of taking things one day at a time. And this is especially important for those of us who suffer from anxiety spectrum conditions. I'm going to get into a few reasons why it's absolutely imperative to live your life this way. And I remember the first time I heard this saying, it was from somebody, as you guys know in some of my other videos, I've referred to when I was young, approximately 7 to 9 years old. I had a younger sibling, a little brother, who unfortunately had acute lymphocytic leukemia, and he was treated for 1.5 years. He did end up passing away. But I remember that was the first time I heard that phrase, "we're taking it one day at a time." It was by a set of another child who was down there being treated. It was the way they looked at life since the diagnosis of their child with leukemia. And that kind of gives you a glimpse into why it's so important, especially for those of us who are so consumed with anxiety internally, why it's so important to live our lives in a way where we're taking it literally one day at a time. So here's a few reasons why this is so important for those of us who battle anxiety. First of all, it keeps us from thinking too far ahead. And we know we're what if thinkers, right? All of us with these anxiety conditions, we're what if thinkers. So we're thinking 10 steps ahead. And unfortunately, it's not just what if thinking, but we are simultaneously catastrophizing the what if scenarios. And living our lives one day at a time, as cliche as it may sound, will help us to not get too far ahead of ourselves. Don't think about the next big daunting thing that may or may not be coming. And these things can run the gamut, right? It can be anything from, maybe there's something that we think is going to affect our employment security. Maybe there's something we think that's going to affect our family. Maybe, we're thinking down the line, maybe we have a teenager and we're worried about their future. There's so many things that we can, occupy our mind with. And so many of these things are going to take care of themselves. And so many of these things we are powerless to do anything about, right? And at the present time. I am not in any way, shape, or form trying to insinuate that you guys shouldn't plan. Planning is what intelligent people do. But there's a big difference between planning about things that you can control or things that may happen and you can actuate some type of or implement some type of change now, or just perseverating and hyper-focusing on a potential thing while at the same time having no power to do anything about it now. And that's the type of thinking that we want to try to get rid of or push out of our minds. We want to stay in the day. Stay in the day. And, the other thing this is going to do, and this is another common problem for those of us who have anxiety spectrum conditions, living in the day, taking it one day at a time, is going to keep us from dwelling on the past. And we have so many things that, we may, regret, things that we wish we could have changed. And there's not one of them that we can actually do anything about, guys. If you found the rewind button, please let me know. I'd like it. There's a few things I'd like to change, many things, but there isn't one. So it does literally zero good worrying about things that have happened. And it does even less good to beat yourself up over guilt. I've seen guilt destroy people, and that's not the way to live your life, because you end up paying for something forever that way, instead of moving on and trying to do good and accomplish things from that point onward. The third thing, and I think in a way the most important thing that taking it one day at a time does, is it makes you think, it makes you focus on the only thing that you really can control, which is right now. Today is the day you can actuate change. Today is the day you can stick to your diet. Today is the day you can, have that conversation with an old friend that you have been meaning to have. Today's the day that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You can do it today. Even if you have a goal of losing weight, today is the day that you can start eating less, working out, whatever it is. And it's so important to realize that right now is where we have the power. I mean, I can do a million different cliches from, songs, yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery. I mean, you can do a million different cliches that tell you that you can't undo the past, and none of us are sure about what tomorrow will bring. But you can control today. You can control right now. And this will be, taking it one day at a time can be very empowering. And again, taking it one day at a time is not to be confused with, just not caring about the future and, just, it doesn't really matter, maybe taking an Epicurean philosophy of eat, drink, and be merry, because tomorrow we will die. That is not what I'm intimating, because as I had already stated, there is a lot of things that should be planned, that we need to plan, that it's only intelligent to plan. But to be hyper-focused on things in the future that you really can account for, right? There's a lot of things, most things, that we have no control over. And even the things that we might be preparing for, we might end up working on a different plan, with the circumstances changing the next day. That's just the way life is. The one thing certain about this life is that there's always going to be change. And if you take the approach of, I'm taking it one day at a time, I promise you guys, you're gonna get so much more accomplished, and you're gonna spend so much less time worrying about things that you can't control. And that has been the bane of my existence here for about 21 years now. So that's why I made the video. And the last point, as far as why it's so important to take things one day at a time, is that's the only way you're really going to enjoy life. You'll hear a lot of people who had maybe a great career, maybe that in a certain field, could even be whatever field it is. They had a great career, but they feel like they never took the time to smell the roses. And if you live in the now, if you literally try to live your life one day at a time, not only can you get a lot accomplished in one day, but then towards, after you've gotten a lot accomplished, you can also live in the moment and enjoy a great meal with family, enjoy a quiet walk in the woods, whatever it might be, some time for reflection. If you're taking things one day at a time, you'll be able to enjoy your life. And otherwise, you won't get to enjoy your life, because you'll be either too busy drudging up the past in your mind, or worrying about the future. And neither one of those things does anybody any good. We need to learn, as people with anxiety spectrum conditions, we need to learn to control what we can control. That's it. That's all we should be occupied with. And so that's about all I wanted to say in this video. I didn't want to make a long video. I just think it's really important to kind of live that way. Take it one day at a time. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. You know, you can't add any length to your lifespan by worrying. It's just not going to happen, and you can't change things that are out of your control. So thank you guys for all the engagement. Very grateful for the comments, for the likes. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you know anybody who's going through a difficult time with their mental health, especially as it pertains to any of these anxiety spectrum conditions, please help that. Please have them tune into the channel. It definitely may help them. At least feel like they're not alone. Maybe it'll help them get the treatment they need. Or maybe they'll see something in one of these videos that they're like, oh, that's what's going on. And that's really all. The whole reason I started the channel was just to try to make sure that people out there don't waste their lives stuck in the mire of anxiety, and I encourage people to get treatment and to get living their lives again. So thank you guys so much. And until my next video, take care.